Hey everybody, welcome back to the Danger Zone podcast. This is episode 9 with Vince and Chris. So a couple things before we dive into the episode, a couple changes coming to the podcast. As you'll notice, we have a beautiful new logo that I hope you appreciate. Switching things up a little bit, and yeah, I hope you like it. Chris spent some time on it. It's looking good. And what else? Coming soon, we will have the Danger Zone podcast website. We should be launching it pretty soon. It'll have links to all of our past episodes, a link to our YouTube and Facebook page and channels, and we'll be throwing up extra stuff in there, like photos, things we think are funny, maybe not podcast-specific related videos or just extra stuff. So it's just going to be the place where we take everything and just have it. So super excited about that. That's going to be really cool. So that should be coming soon. And today we talked about the UFC. UFC 227 just happened. So we kind of ran through the fights that occurred. Couple title fights. I won't get into too much stuff right now in case anybody hasn't seen them. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen them and you want to see them, don't listen to this podcast yet. Go watch. Maybe you can watch some fights while you're listening to the podcast or whatever, but don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So, yeah. All right, sit back. We got episode 9 coming at you. To the danger zone. I'm gonna take it right into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. It's kind of sad almost that movie was lost on me when it first came out. I was like,
yeah, I think it's fair just because Napoleon Dynamite there was nothing quite like it, so nobody knew what to expect. Like I bought a pirated copy because I was in South Korea stationed there. So you just go downtown every Friday and they would have this big store of just pirated, burned DVDs.
Oh, for sure,
and some
everything.
of them were like, cam copies versus the screening copies or screener copies.
Yeah.
But so nobody knew what it was, and we just grabbed it because and watched it and had no the fuck idea what was going on.
Dude, I had no concept of what that kind of humor was at that time in my life. I was like, this is so dumb. But that was so same type of thing. Demi was obsessed with Tim and Eric. Like, what is it? Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. And I was like, this is so...
never watched it.
You've never watched it?
No, I know. It's Eric Andre or whatever. Like, I've seen him on some things.
Yeah, it's Eric. No, it's Eric Warheim and Tim Heidecker.
Oh.
Yeah, you might be thinking of another guy. He's the giant friend. Eric is the giant friend from Master of None with Aziz Ansari. Did you ever watch that shit?
Oh, no, I haven't.
No, well, that's all right. You're not really.
I started to get into it, but that's when the alleged allegations.
Oh, the dick sucking thing or whatever.
Yeah, that whole weird shit with Aziz. Yeah. So I kind of held off to to find out. But I think it's safe. I don't think I'm on his side, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
that's everything. You don't know the whole story, but trying to break down the whole story of the account of what happened. It honestly just sounds like, unfortunately, things that happen in life, and you have a shitty, weird, awkward sexual encounter with someone. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean they're a fucking rapist. Like,
yeah, and dude, I'm believing. I take everything that she wrote as truth, and it really seems like just a kind of they were on different wavelengths.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, he
was trying to hook up. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but he was pursuing that action.
Yeah,
course of action, and she wasn't feeling it, but didn't
vocalize enough, maybe,
it or anything to really.
I think at one point, the way it started, they were doing something, and she was like, "Yo, I don't want to do this," and he was like, "Okay," and they watched a movie or something. And then it devolved into some more stuff happening. Anyways, whatever.
It was weird.
Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah,
well, okay, so back to the original point. Tim and Eric is a sketch comedy show, I guess. Sort of, or they make little short sketches, and it's the weirdest fucking humor ever. And I was like, dude, damn, this is insane. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around what it was or supposed to be. And then over time watching it, it's so hilarious in its absurdity. It's so crazy. You have to watch it. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
You have to. You'll love it. But dude, that shit is so funny. Not as funny as Cody Garbrandt getting shit kicked out of him last night though. Boom, my boy TJ getting that ass.
Jumping on that fucking bandwagon.
Getting that ass. No, you know what a big thing was, and this is kind of fucking stupid, but
what?
I didn't know TJ that well. I knew Cody, and because he was the champ at the time. But he sat down with Joe, and he was on the podcast with Uriah, because that's who he trains with, and Uriah has like his whole camp and everything in Sacramento and all that shit.
Yeah.
And they were
alpha male or whatever.
Yeah, and they were going on and they were bitching about TJ and this quote unquote feud and why there's this falling out and why they fucking don't like each other and all this shit. And Uriah being Uriah, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, you guys sound like two whiny fucking assholes right now that are like, he was mean to us, or he went and did this thing. It's like, all right, well, chill the fuck. It did not seem as serious as they were making it out to be. And that was when I was like, all right, come on, guys. Like, come on. Stop being little bitches about this. Like, chill out. And a lot of the thing was TJ left to go to a different camp because he had like a better opportunity or whatever it was, and he wanted to go do that.
I don't even care about all that bullshit. I really don't care about any of that. Like, I just based strictly on their fighting styles and attitudes, and I just don't like. I prefer Cody over TJ, even though at first I didn't like Cody either.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like fucking fighters with alpha male personalities and shit like that. You better believe you're the baddest motherfucker on the planet to go out there and be the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah, but look at what's his name? Fucking the dude they just lost, Johnson.
Oh,
Mighty
DJ?
Mouse.
Yeah. He's like the most humble, quiet man ever.
He was clapping for the dude that beat him, and it seemed completely sincere. It was just classy, and
that's true. I mean, there are different styles of people that
considered like the best pound for pound champion in the UFC history
ever.
So I don't know. I think when you're at the top, you don't need to announce it to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's different styles of personality too. Like maybe, like for him, he just is, and it's same with like George St. Pierre. You know what I mean? Like they're just very classically trained martial artists that have this craft and like to do that, and then they present all of that in the octagon. Whereas Cody or someone like him, they like to just like their whole thing is they go in and bang, and that's their shit, and they get the thrill out of fucking that, and they have to have this like, I don't know, primitive caveman just let that shit
I
out,
get it, yeah. And I'm not trying to be a hater on them, but I guess I prefer the more like straightforward, classical, like the George St. Pierre people are just easier for me to root for. Well, and they're really hard to like root against.
That was my Forrest Griffin obsession for so many reasons, but I just rewatched Rashad and Forrest UFC, whatever the hell it was.
That. Like and 80 or some shit. Like a long time ago.
When Forrest was the champion. Yeah. And it was his first time defending the belt against Rashad. And Rashad knocked him out in the third round, I think, something like that. It
was he was like ground and pounding him, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He pummeled his face. But the whole thing afterwards, Forrest was giving him a hug and raising him his hand and being like, Forrest was straight up, he knocked me out, man, and he's fucking killed it tonight and all this. And that was the era of fighters and stuff like that. That was really cool. Forrest Griffin.
No, they were. Nobody played that heel role, you know. There were no superstar, megastars.
Yeah.
In the UFC, I mean, they weren't mainstream, you know. They weren't shown on ESPN. Nobody, you know, no big news organizations talked about them, and everybody was really just trying to promote the sport, and it was like that was kind of on the forefront of everybody's mind, just making it work.
Yeah, and that was like, dude, you had pay-per-views, and then you had, what was the UFC TV show that Forrest?
Oh, The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the Ultimate Fighter, and that was it. And he was like,
Yeah.
season 1 was Forrest, season 2 was Rashad, I think, and so. But anyway, I thought when TJ came out that I thought he was being too loose. I was like, oh, he's gonna get caught, man. Like before the fight started, I was like, all right, this will be over in the first or second round, because there's no way these guys are taking it to a decision. Like they're gonna beat each other up. And but as soon as he comes out, his hands are kind of down his side. He's moving around a lot, but not in a very like controlled manner. It was very fluid, but in a, I don't know. And I was like, oh man, you got to tighten that up. But he kind of did. But I don't know, man. It was good. What was it?
I feel like Cody fell into his trap like perfectly. Like he did. You know, he did. Every time he would start to like get a shot or two off, it would turn into a slugfest.
Yep.
Like, you know, TJ would get hit with something and bring him into this fucking slugfest.
Yep.
And TJ's a little bit shorter and just that much quicker. You know, it's less of a distance to travel to get those hooks off. And was able to catch him. He caught him right in the side of the ear with that huge, like, right hook, I think it was.
Yep, it was right on. It was like right on the side of his head, man.
Yeah, just bam, and that was the shot that sent his whole fucking balance out the window.
He did it several times, and you could see like the times where he
but I think that was the first one. After that, he was on wobbly legs though.
Well, like, at some point in the middle of the round, they both put each other on Queer Street, and you could see they both hit each other and backed up. And neither of them want to engage, even though both of them like did damage on the other one. It would have been a good time to like take advantage of it, but they couldn't because they were both fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, the whole time, every time Cody would come in and bang, you could see too in the slow replays, like he was just being barely more efficient with his punching and where he was throwing, and not wasting any like space or energy. And Cody was throwing like real wide fucking shots. Yeah. And TJ just got it in there.
His reach is significantly longer, isn't it? Like his arms look way longer.
I don't know actually.
And
could be true.
It could be. It could. Maybe I'm wrong, but just the appearance of, you know, especially watching it in slow mo, you see where they start swinging, and the distance that's, you know, proportioned to their arm length. It seems like TJ had such a shorter distance to get a full swing in,
and he was oh man, I mean that was most of what it was. He was counterpunching him almost, and as soon as they go and bang, and Cody would get shots in too. He had like a good front kick to his sternum, and he was throwing a lot of legs, which I thought was good and a good game plan going forward, because he was chewing him up a little bit. But yeah, you're right. As soon as they went in and they started throwing, like Cody needed to settle down, back up. And go back to and kind of reset the clock a little bit and be like, all right, let me throw some legs and let me get some combinations in here instead of just
pepper him with jabs and use your longer limbs, you know, to keep him frustrated.
No, it was, they would go in there and it was just throwing caution to the wind and just throwing hands. And TJ it was just like the last fight. He just catches him.
It was almost identical the way that, like, you know, when he had him on the ground and his arm was kind of caught under his TJ's leg, and TJ was just that right hand, just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, even TJ's situational awareness when he had him hurt and he had him on the ground and he was throwing hammer fists and I know he caught him on the back of the head once, and Herb Dean said something to him, but even when he got him up against the cage and he was throwing hands and he got him, and Cody turned around because he had his side on the cage. He turned, put his back to the cage, and
That's
TJ just clinched him. Knee to the dome. But, I mean, that was good for him to take stock of what was happening and give up the punches to throw that knee. And then at that point, it was like, I know Cody, you could see it in his face, and I'm sure he said it, that he was like, I could have kept going. I could have. But, I mean, it was a good stoppage.
It was a good stoppage, but you got to give Cody credit for, I mean, he was still, you know, on his feet trying. After getting just rocked, he was still forcing himself to stand there and give everything. And so, like, super, you know, a lot of respect to that dude for that.
Oh, yeah. No, Cody's a goddamn savage, man.
Yeah,
he's a bad motherfucker. And that's the thing. Like, I'm kind of excited to not be going to a trilogy just because I want to see both of them fight other people. And then, you know, at some point in the future, there's a good chance they can fight again. But
Yeah.
I want to see Cody go and throw with somebody else, put TJ in front of somebody new. And TJ was talking about fighting
the dude for 125.
Cejudo. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing like I don't know if they're doing a catch weight.
No, he said he wanted to go up to 135.
Oh, Cejudo
Because
will?
he cut a lot of weight. Yeah, he's a pretty stocky dude for 125.
Yeah. God, they're so tiny. 5'3", 1.
Yeah.
The tiniest little humans. I would love to see DJ and just be like, "Oh my God, you're
He'd still
adorable,
kick
bro."
Dude, you know how quick he would be?
Oh my God, that's
you'd be
insane.
like, yeah, I'm done.
Dude, the fact that they can bounce around on their toes for 25 minutes nonstop without even looking gassed at all is so insane.
Yeah.
Dude, they're nuts.
I think Mighty Mouse earned more respect for me last night, just the way he handled, the end of his reign or whatever. That was like the classiest thing I've seen in sports in a long time.
Yeah, it was good. I watched the post fight and it was the same thing. He was like, "Hey, everybody, that comes to an end eventually one day.
Yeah.
If you keep fighting, dude, it's just going to happen,
Yeah.
And but no, he was
6 years as
it's so insane.
without losing.
That's so insane.
11 title defenses.
God, I feel like almost for him, he was like, all right, good, I lost one. Now I can get back in there and like climb up a little bit. I don't know.
And he lost a split decision in which he took no damage. I mean, for the record, too.
Yeah. Well, that's a toughie when you see him sitting there and you're like, oh, you don't even look like you got into a fight. This is pretty. But
and it was still
that
a
is
split
huge
decision. I mean, just it wasn't like he didn't get beat. I think it was a draw that could have went either way. Like I think me and you started talking about earlier. Like they just don't do draws.
I know it's not fun to have a draw
now.
decision, but come on, man, you got to call it what it is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like even though Henry was taking him down, you're right. Like if you can take somebody down, but if you're not really getting anything out of it, you're not inflicting damage from those takedowns. It's kind of like, all right, well, who gives a shit? It's a fight. You know what I mean? It's not a competition to see who can put somebody on the mat. It's not wrestling, So there needs to be a total reworking of the way that they score fights. And that's another thing, too. Let's say, hypothetically, let's do 3 rounds just because it's easier. It's less numbers to work with. But if you get the shit kicked out of you in the 3rd round, but you won rounds 1 and 2, not even by a large margin, you just happen to win those rounds, but you didn't kick the shit out of the other guy. You somehow escape round 3, like barely holding on to your life, and then you lose the fight. You're like, well, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, that's tough.
It's a flawed system. I mean, there's quite a few things you can do to improve it, but I think on the takedown part, if you score a takedown, okay, it should count for something. It should. Effective move.
Yeah.
But if the opponent is able to like not take any damage and get up right away, completely nullify it, reverse it, that should count equally at a minimum as the takedown. So if you take a guy down and hold down for like 30 seconds and do 0 damage, and then he's able to escape 30 seconds later, that's significant, especially when you're fighting like a gold medal winning wrestler and he takes you down and he can't hold you down for more than 20 seconds. Like, I don't know, to me it seems very one way. As soon as that takedown scored, no matter what happens, it's like a big notch in the book.
That's what they look like. You got that takedown, you know what, go out next round, get another takedown, get 2, boom, you're getting points on the books, you're getting octagon control and all that shit. But that's like you have 3 random judges that maybe came over from boxing that have no idea what the fuck they're even looking at half the time, especially when it's on the ground. And you're like, come on, man. It's just it's not a good way of doing it at all. There shouldn't be a point scale. There needs to be a wider sliding scale of not like, oh, yes, you took him down. That is a point. Like there needs to be more of a subjective opinion in this kind of fighting, I think. And you need to have people that are knowledgeable about the sport that aren't just arbitrarily giving you 1s and fucking 0s for a jab or a takedown or anything like that. Like I want somebody in there that knows the sport and can make a decision based on who won the fight, taking all of these things into consideration without having to give me a 9 and a fucking 10 per round. Like, come on, man. We can do better than that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You know, like just like throwing leg kicks, there should be a huge difference between if somebody's able to check your leg kick successfully, that should count for, you know, something. Not just, you know, just the leg kick. Like, you know, you blocked it and potentially caused more damage to the other person.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a blocked jab, a jab that is kind of rolled with or absorbed versus like a head kick that's kind of blocked or absorbed. Like it's so insane. You know, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be like connected or, you know, blocked or missed. There's got to be a happy medium.
I get the transitionary thing where they kind of just took boxing because it's established and it's a sport that people know, and then you can bring new fans in because they see the 9-10 rounds and all of this shit, and you hear 27-30 and you go, oh, okay, I understand what those things mean. But the sport has evolved past that shit. We have enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
now.
Man.
It's mainstream. It's, you know, you can spend the time to come up with a commission that specializes with it. In it, you know, and there's enough people out there.
Yeah, there are enough purists of the sport to where you can make it what it needs to be in its own thing. And people will still come over, and people that don't know about MMA will just learn into the new system that it should be. And I don't know. Yeah. It'll have to happen, I think. I don't think they can keep doing this.
Dude Man last night, the referee with the 4-foot handlebars.
Yeah, Michael, whatever the fuck your last name is.
Dude, that's just a big fan. It's the most Viking mustache in history.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but he has an axe tucked into the back of his pants at all times.
Probably. Yeah.
He did 100%.
That was my favorite part of every match he was in. Just looking at that gorgeous handlebar mustache that hung down to his belt.
How do you do that? That's so nuts. So since the age of 3 years old, he's been growing that mustache out.
Pretty much.
Such a badass.
He'd have to commit, what is it called?
Harry Carey?
Harry Carey. Yeah.
No! I bet he would. Oh, what if there's like an accident and one got singed or got caught in something and half of one got cut off? That's it. He's done, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be like, nope, I can't go on living like this.
I mean, what's the point at that point? You know,
there's no way.
He'll never always tell people, be like, I used to have a mustache down to here. And they'll be like, yeah, right. Fucking crazy person.
He'll never be able to obtain the level of mustache that he ever could have in his life. That's it.
Can't get that back.
Never. You can't get those 50 years of mustache. You can get
some mustache like extensions, I guess, you know.
Mike would never do that. He would, and then he'd cry at night. It'd be terrible. He'd stroke one side, the good, real-haired side of his mustache. He'd, like, spin it around, and then the other one would fall out, and he'd be like, fuck this. What am I doing?
Right. Oh, my God. Hey, so the Conor McGregor fight that you're not excited for.
Ooh, okay. So I was being... I was being
a drama queen.
Yeah. I was exaggerating pretty heavily. I'm excited for any moment that Conor decides to get back in the fucking ring, especially against somebody like Khabib. So that was silly, but I was trying to make a bigger point, I guess, by being inflammatory.
What was the bigger point? Because
so my thing is, it makes sense for them to fight on like a standings kind of thing, and I'm just looking at it purely from the satisfaction that I'm going to get from seeing an actual fight, like two people go at it. And I just think, like, Khabib definitely deserves to fight whatever the best fucking guy is in the division. And Conor, was that until he left. So, okay, there have been people in there, and obviously Conor's somewhere still
but
within the top 3, 5, whatever.
Who would you put above Conor? Other than Khabib, maybe.
In the division?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Jose Aldo's had a badass fight, dude.
Yeah, the dude that Conor knocked out in 17 seconds. I know maybe it's a fluke, but you're gonna put him above Conor.
I'm not gonna put him above Conor.
You're gonna put Chad Mendes above Conor. I mean,
I would.
Eddie Alvarez, like all people.
No.
He beat.
Poor Eddie.
You can't put them.
I love Eddie Alvarez.
What about Max Holloway? Like Conor beat him too.
I would put Conor up against Max Holloway all day. I'd love to see that fight. I would love to see.
He fought already.
I know. I'd love to see it again, and I'd love to see him fight
like Conor
Jose
went through
Aldo
all
again.
of those, and the only one he hasn't fought is Khabib. I mean, it's the
No,
only
I
fight
know.
for Conor that makes sense.
No, I know, and I get it. That's why it does make sense. Just for me, I'm like, stylistically, I'm like, this is not going to be the dynamic, exciting fight that I would like to see. Conor is not.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, Khabib is a fucking insane wrestler. Conor obviously has ground game, and I'm not trying to knock anything that he does on the ground. But for me, not having seen him fight in 2 years, last time he fought, I think, was November 2016.
Yeah.
October, November 2016.
Yeah.
So, okay, so straight up 2 years. God, I would love to see Conor get in there and throw hands with somebody more than having to defend takedowns and get fucking smushed on the ground and all that shit. It's going to be good.
Also, like, the dude went through a basically a professional boxing
camp.
Full training camp. And, and even though he, got showed up big time by Floyd,
greatest of all time,
he held his own, man. And, like, to the point, he held his own to the point that, like, he did more than the average person thought he was going to do.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah. And
there was
just that experience is going to translate to some kind of improvement in his hands, which were already maybe the best in the UFC.
That's like, I mean, the boxing match, god damn it. The fact that he did what he did in that, like, there should have been zero doubt in anyone's mind, anywhere ever, in perpetuity, that Conor was going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
There's no way. Everybody's got a puncher's chance, but man, kind of not really in boxing. I don't know, using giant clubs like that against the greatest ever. But no, he was insane. I mean, I think I even placed a bet, like, for Conor winning the fight in the first 3 rounds, because that was the only chance. I was like, if he really wants to win this fight, he just needs to go balls out for 3 rounds, try to kill Floyd. And that's the only way. And chance getting knocked out.
He did that to a bit. And then about 4th, 5th round, he started slowing down. And then by 6th, 7th, he was
tired as fuck.
Full step behind. And then when it was in the 10th round, he was just exhausted.
Yeah, you're fighting against a guy that runs, besides normal training, runs 6 miles every single day. And it's like,
No, he's a beast.
But so especially because of all of that, I would love to see him get into the octagon and be facing somebody that we'd get to see more of those skills kind of shine through, which I know they are. They're going to stand, but I just, that Khabib's, his whole thing is going to be getting him to the ground, putting him on the ground, punishing him on the ground. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. All right. That'll be good. It'll be good. But it's just, I'm being real nitpicky here.
I know,
obviously.
no, I understand what you're saying. Like, stylistically, it could be a boring grind of a fight, but
I'm like, Conor's been 2 years. Get in there and fucking bang with someone, son. Stand up. I want to see a Cody TJ style fight, bro.
What happens when Conor stuffs maybe the first 2-3 takedowns in the first round? Like, if you know what I mean? If he were to stuff that, like, think about how interesting that fight gets really quickly.
I hope so. I mean, Conor's going to kick him in the legs a fuck ton. He's going to keep the distance. He's going to sprawl. I think there's a good chance that he can stuff takedowns for a while and stay on his feet. And it's going to be dangerous for Khabib to try to come in and single or double leg him, because Conor's going to be throwing fucking hands right at him while he's doing it. And that's dangerous. Yep. So, I
would
mean,
be working on, like, just knees on, like, practicing knees on like a double shoot, and that way if he just came in and trying to charge him and just take him out and just basically tackle him to the ground, just have that fucking knee ready to
and that's something that he can easily do. I mean, Conor McGregor can throw fucking kicks all day. So that's gonna be it's not a not interesting or exciting fight. I was, like I said, I was being a little silly and a little bit, I was exaggerating a lot, but no, man, it's going to be awesome. I'm just glad to see him get back in there. And then wherever the fuck it goes from there, like, God damn it, get him another fight in 6 months. Same with Khabib. Fucking Tony, I want to see Tony Ferguson fight goddamn Conor McGregor. Like, let's go. Let's get these fucking fights. Did you see DJ was talking after, in the post-fight press conference, he tore his LCL. he thinks. And he thinks he broke his right foot during the fight. So that's not great stuff, but he'll be all right.
In the 2-minute fight? Damn.
Wait, who did I say?
TJ?
No, DJ. Sorry, Demetrius.
Oh. Shit.
No, DJ.
Damn.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, so his foot was fucked. Apparently, that's not a fun thing.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Fucking, what is it? Is it 229 that Connor's main event for?
Sounds about right. This was 227, so that'll probably be what? There's one in September.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere around 29 or 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Did they announce any of the other fights for it?
They did. It was Diaz versus who was he fighting?
Nate. Well, obviously Nick's not fucking fighting.
Yeah, Nate Diaz versus
Sorry, Nate.
Oh, it was like the number fucking 3 or 4 at the weight class.
Oh, I gotta look into that. Oh, yeah, see, that's
I
good. God damn it. You have the Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz trilogy, and the two fighters happening in the same card, not fighting each other.
What's his name? Nate was pretty
Was he pissed?
upset when it was announced, at the very end of the press conference.
That's good. Well, maybe that's setting it up for the trilogy. They see each other at the fight. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
It is 229.
If they both can win, I don't know. We'll see. I saw something online, and it was just a misleading headline that baited me. And it said something about Cormier Stipe rematch, and I was like, "They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it." And then it was
fucking
just
clickbait.
It was just somebody being like, "They should do this," and blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh well, yeah, all right. God damn it. I hate you for this right now." I was so mad. Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about that already. I'm excited for DC to get paid, but God, that's such a stupid fucking fight.
Yeah. I hate
everything Brock Lesnar is. Brock Lesnar is the giant circus freak version of CM Punk. Well, okay, no, he's way better than CM Punk.
Yeah, come on.
That was terrible. I'm sorry, Brock. I'm
accolades.
Sorry, Brock. Yeah, he's actually a badass wrestler in real life. But I don't like the circus freak side of what that brings to the sport. Yeah, that comes
straight over from his fucking full, his whole adult life of professional promoting, comes from the WWE. So I really think that bleeds over into how he kind of developed his public persona.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a good thing for him. He can come in and be like the villain against DC, and everybody will love DC and all that shit.
Yeah,
but,
and it's it's a win-win for everybody because DC's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
And he's either he fucking beats Lesnar and just adds another feather to his cap, or Lesnar beats him and DC is already planning on that being his last fight. Yep. And then Lesnar has the belt, and you have a new couple. Then
John Jones comes in and fights heavyweight and beats the shit out of Brock Lesnar for the heavyweight title. Boom,
dude!
You heard it here first, bros.
That'd be an interesting matchup, just because the size difference.
Yep.
Versus the skill difference is about the same.
Yeah, it would be nutty.
Yeah.
You got John coming in he wouldn't have to cut weight or anything like that.
Oh, no.
Obviously, Brock Lesnar has to cut from 300 pounds just to get down to 265. That's so insane.
Yeah, he'd be coming in a fight like 275-ish.
Yeah.
And Jones would be probably like 227.
Yeah. I would like to see that. I'm excited to see DC fight him. DC deserves to get paid, and I think he'll put a fucking beating on him. Boom.
I think he will too. Boom. He's got that fight IQ, and I slept on him for a long time and always picked against him, but I think that's what it comes down to with him that I never really respected enough was his fight IQ and his understanding of so many different things.
Yeah.
And you listening to him do such a great job breaking a fight down live, I think you do get that sense that this dude knows what the fuck he's talking about. Like, yeah, instantly he recognizes positioning and what they're going for.
Yeah, I love his commentary, especially sitting there with Joe and John. Yeah. Like, God, they have such good banter back and forth, and
it's a good group they got.
Yeah, I'm excited for when he does retire that he's gonna stick around and he's still gonna be at every pay-per-view and all of that. Cause
he's won me over. I like
that's such a good role for that dude. But Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. John Jones come
Are
back
they
to
doing
fight.
is DC and Joe doing the next the McGregor fight?
I don't know, man. That would make sense to me. I
Yeah,
would think
I would
so.
imagine, but
DC's not gonna have to really get into a training camp until I'm assuming he's not gonna fight until March. I don't think they're gonna put anything ahead of him. Dude, did you know that Gustafsson was supposed to fight last night?
no, I didn't.
Dude, I didn't either. He was literally I don't know if it was because it got canceled, so they put it at the bottom of the main event just in the lineup, or he was supposed to actually be the opening fight for last night, which wouldn't make sense to me. But yeah, he was supposed to fight and it got canceled. I gotta look into it. But I like Alexander Gustafsson. He's fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
I don't like to see him fight. I can't remember. It was a good matchup for him too. Was it Ozdemir? I might have made that up. I don't think so, but I might have. Somebody's yelling, "They're not in the same division, asshole!" I'm like,
wait, who did you say?
Ozdemir. He fights a light heavyweight, right?
I don't remember. I'm having like a complete like
He's
blank spot on that.
He's a bantamweight, dickhead. It's not even close.
Wait, Bantam's 145, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Sorry, I was trying to find out. I was reading while you're talking. I was reading through, trying to find out if they had any other rumors for the fight card, the October 6th, but nothing's confirmed yet. I thought they had a couple more.
They'll have it stacked. They'll probably have a good female fight in there. God damn it, let's get Rose back out there. Is she fighting soon?
Yeah.
Put Rose on that card.
No, she has. I don't think she has anything scheduled right now.
Cyborg. They can't get a fight for Cyborg because nobody wants to fight her, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's not great. She's actually. I heard. I don't know if they're more than rumors, but I heard she was trying to get out of her contract so she could go fight for Bellator or something like that because nobody wants to fight her in the UFC. And that way she can get back on all them juices, turn into a 230-pound fucking behemoth.
Yeah.
And then definitely not be able to fight anybody.
Huge. Yeah. Well, come over to the 145 men's division.
I'm saying, I'm all right with it. I wouldn't be mad at anybody involved in that.
Probably dudes that on that fucking roster she would beat the fuck out of.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are low level guys that should whoop their ass for sure.
Yeah.
Don't put her up against anybody that is a fucking contender. That's not gonna go well for her. Yeah. Sorry, lady.
Dude, would you watch that?
Hell yeah, I would watch the shit out of that.
Yes.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hear all the boycotts too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But from whom?
You put her in there with
have
a man.
problem with that? Like you can't.
Who knows?
What I mean? Like, what side of the political spectrum are you going to be outraged on, the right or the left? Like,
all of them.
If she wants to be, she's like, yeah, I'll fight this dude and I'll kick his ass. Like,
yeah, women are equal to men in every way possible. So, yep, get your ass in there. Let's go.
And, if it's not a size,
it's not
a strength issue because she's strong as shit. And if they weigh the same,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
No.
And I think she would destroy some people, especially on the feet. God
Fuck
damn.
yeah. Dude, it'd be hilarious to watch her beat the shit out of some dudes.
Yeah.
Just don't put her, like I said, just don't put her in there with top 5 guy because she would get fucking handed some shit.
No, you would start her off, obviously, at the bottom of the roster just
Poor
because it's not something that's ever been done before.
It'd be so fucking funny. I would watch the shit out of that. See, I like have conflicting feelings about things because in some sense, I sit there and go, okay, well, so-and-so deserves to fight so-and-so, and what is this bullshit DC fighting Brock and all that? But then sometimes, those matches come up. I'm like, yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, no, it makes no sense whatsoever, but let's make that happen. Come on, Dana.
Yeah. No,
come on, put your promoter hat on.
Which is kind of awesome because that's what the UFC started as, is watching all these different people of different sizes and from around the world and all these different martial arts groups coming together, and it was a freak show. I mean, that's what it was,
Yeah.
Sumo wrestlers fighting, there's a boxer that had one boxing glove. It was straight out of fucking Street Fighter.
It was, dude. It was so ridiculous. That shit was amazing.
So,
but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. I mean, it's about answering questions that only fucking semi-psychotic people have about fighting and
hell yes,
entertainment.
Oh, I was freaking out last night as per the usual. It was great.
Yeah,
dude, man, the DJ Henry Cejudo one, that kind of hurt a little bit, but I was happy for Henry. I was like, good for you, man. You did work. But yeah, that would have been a solid draw call. But
yeah,
dude, as soon as the 5th round ended, I was like, it was me and everybody saying, no, there's no way he won that fight. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, Henry won that fight, 100%. That dude won. They're like, no way, blah, 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 DJ. And I was like, I wasn't completely arguing. I mean, I was staunchly arguing, but in my own head, I was like, there's a chance, especially him being the champion. Like, you get a little bit of a fucking nod defending the belt. You get a little leeway there.
But we can put that shit aside a little bit because he didn't. I think it was a draw, and they gave it to the challenger. Like, and like you said, it was a split decision, so clearly it was a close fight.
Yeah. God, those are so tough. That's why I'm like, can we just let him go one more time? Let him go one more round. Let's see what happens. Come on, guys. Come on. You got to leave it out there.
Yeah.
Do something. I don't know. Just neither. Man, I wish. But it's not the way they fight. But it would have been nice to see him just.
They should do the final round of every match is not timed. It just goes until somebody.
That's it.
Wins, yeah. Just like in the original ones, except for in the original ones, it was just one long,
45-minute
long wrestling match, and by like the 45th minute, they'd just be laying on top of each other, not moving.
Yeah, dude. No, I love that. But, or even like, I wish it would have been more of, hey, this is maybe a 2-2 fight right now. It's the 5th round. You guys need to go out there and fucking bang. Be dominant. Win this fight right now. None of this bullshit. Like, come on. Don't leave it to the judges. Come on now.
Yeah.
And that's tough because if you're the aggressor, then you get caught or whatever it is. Like, I know it's not necessarily the best approach, but man, God.
Yeah. No, those two last night, I mean, they neutralized each other really well. I thought it was so close, like as evenly matched as could be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed most of the fights. I don't remember the ginger girl's name. She did good though.
Oh yeah, she was pretty sharp on her feet.
Yeah.
But she was fighting somebody that was pretty.
No, I know.
Pretty raw.
Yeah, and she just kept landing. She just kept landing punches on her.
What about that Welsh dude, the John whatever?
Was that fight of the night?
Oh, I didn't see who got what awards, but that was a dude that was getting leg kicked and he was getting dropped by the leg kicks.
Oh yeah, man.
And he kept standing there and just throwing, and he was fighting like the last half southpaw.
Dude.
And hung in there to the bell.
I don't know what it is about watching somebody get kicked in the leg, but oh God.
Yeah.
That somehow makes me feel worse than them just getting their bell rung. I don't know why.
I mean, he couldn't even walk after the fight. And he was still. During the fight, he was forcing himself, forward.
Yeah.
But as soon as that bell went off and the fight was over, he could barely move.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh, that's so terrible.
That was a good fight.
That's so terrible. I know, I'm going to have to go back and watch all of them again. And again, and again, and again.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm
again. You know what? I'm sick of. I want the UFC to come up with a better way of marketing fights and showing fights and making their money. I'm so sick of this shit. I have to pay for a pay-per-view, or I have to go out somewhere and watch pay-per-view. I have to have UFC Fight Pass so I can watch whatever prelims are only on Fight Pass or the fight nights. But then I also have to have cable or some sort of cable-like subscription so I can watch Fox and FS1, and now it's going to be ESPN at the end of the year. Like, come on, man. I dropped like $100 a month so I can watch people fight. Like, we can do better than this.
If you just do the Fight Pass or the UFC subscription, you should be watching everything except for pay-per-views.
Yeah. And if you want to, charge me a little bit more a month. I don't care. That's fine. Yeah. And let me have access to ESPN or whatever it is and figure out some marketing thing so you guys can make money, or they get a portion of the Fight Pass money or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. But come on, man. This is ridiculous. Killing me, Smalls.
Well, they've alienated both sides of their market, but they still have, they have the people that just get everything besides the fights, the pay-per-views, and watch all the the up and comers, then go to like a a Chili's or what fuck ever to watch the fights for free.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have the people that just are the more casual fans that can't afford to spend all that time and money and just watch the UFC, like, you know, the pay-per-view main events.
Yeah. I wonder how that works.
Such a diverse kind of split up fan base.
Like, I wonder what because pay-per-view last night was like $70, something like that. 60, $70 bucks.
I think it's $64.99
according to your Google Play charge. Yeah, no, like, exactly. How does that work with B-dubs? When you have, let's say, this is probably a wildly exaggerated number, like 100 people, because it's an easy number. How does the UFC get paid out for a pay-per-view that's shown to a restaurant or a bar or something like that? Is it like a head count?
What they do is per screen, I believe, like that they show it on. They can only show it on, and they have to pay for
like some absorbent amount of money per screen or some shit.
I think it's just per screen. That they show it on.
That makes sense.
But I might be wrong. It's been a few years since I've talked to anybody about that.
Yeah. I went to, there's like a Dave & Buster's like place right near my house, like across the street. It's called Main Event. And went over there, it's like, hey, you guys playing the fights? They're like, no, we're not allowed to. I was like, what? They're like, no, it's too violent. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, guys. You don't want to make money. Yeah. I was like, all right. It'd be one thing if they were just like, oh, no, we just don't really do that. Like, okay. But the fact that it was something that was contemplated, like, obviously, and they came to the conclusion that it was too violent and they were going to show it in the restaurant, it had nothing to do with, like, a financial thing. I was like, God, all right. You guys and your silliness. You're right. Football's not violent. You're right. People don't get CTE and concussions and go on fucking murdering sprees and shit from head trauma that they incur. You're right. Football's not a violent sport.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to let Archer play football, to be honest.
Dude, that's tough, man. That's a legit concern. I don't blame you. That's hard, man.
Yeah. And, you know, before all this stuff, like, came out, I was one of those dads that, like, my son's going to be a quarterback in the backyard. I'm going to, like, you know, build at least, like, 50 yards of regulation football field, lines, and, like, you know, do, you know, passing drills.
Drillings.
And have a bucket in the corner of the end zone, you know.
Yeah, man. It sucks. I mean, that's the tough thing is it's a fun sport to play and everything. It's an athletic sport, and, you know, I mean, the chances of you actually making any money or a living off of it. But I mean, it's either way, it's a good like growth opportunity for a kid, but to put kids in it like before they're able to make adult style decisions about their long-term health, I just don't. Well, you're talking about 10-year-olds going helmet to helmet, knocking each other around. When you don't let 10-year-olds do full contact MMA. No. And if that's you know, thing. No, it's not. Then pretty sure you have to be 18 to like fight like full contact. Some basement somewhere. But you can be like you said, like you can be 8 years old and hitting each other in the helmets. Yeah, man. Pop Warner. It's crazy. Yeah. They don't give a shit, and your brain's not even close to being developed, and it's just getting banged and bruised, and then you want that kid to grow up and be a normal functioning person in society, like. Nah, man, the damage was done early. You can't recover from that. And you literally can't recover from that. That's it. Your brain gets fucked up, and then that's all. You move on. Yep. And it's not even from, like, the big hits. It's just the years and years of constant, like, little ones that you don't think are anything big. Yeah. And then, you know, at some point you're like, shit, I've had, like, 180 tiny minor concussions. Like, that fucking adds up. Yeah, that's exactly right. I remember reading, I did a lot of research on CTE for like a couple papers I was writing for one of my psych classes, and I just decided throughout the semester I was gonna basically just keep going back to the CTE thing and everything like that. But yeah, it's a culmination, like you said, of little head trauma incidents that you wouldn't really think anything of, but yeah, they just build on top of each other and layer themselves, and you can't, once your brain gets hit and it gets hurt, that's it. You don't fix that shit, at least not yet. Maybe one day. And there's a lot of kids, you know, especially when you get to, like, I would say, like, junior high age, and especially into high school, and obviously above that, but a lot of people will just keep that shit to themselves because of stigma, of complaining about, you know, injuries and things like that.
I saw people in high school that I 100% looking back, they were concussed. One guy during a football game came to the sidelines after a big hit and was like, "I don't know my name."
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
I was like, I was a freshman at that time, and I think he was 2 years ahead of me. And I was just like eyes wide, like, I just like turned out to the field and just watched the game. I didn't know what, I was like completely inept at handling something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think, thank God there's like that concussion movie
5 minutes later,
came
he was
out.
out there. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it still happens on a widespread basis, but I know coaches and schools and everything, they have to be much more responsible and cognizant of those things because there is so much social awareness of head trauma, at least compared to what it used to be. It's staggering how many people are aware of it, at least. And it's like, it's public knowledge to some extent now. So, but yeah, back then, holy shit, if you got your bell rung, all right, sit down for a few plays until you feel better and get the fuck out there.
That's what it was called. You get your bell rung.
That's it.
You'd be all right. Yeah.
Even that sounds kind of
off.
delicate. You got your bell rung a little bit. Yeah. You don't know who you are? You will in 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know who you are to catch a football.
Here's some Gatorade. Chug this.
Hell yeah. That's so true. But I don't blame you, man. I would be real conflicted with letting the kids play football. But I mean, that's one of those things.
I don't even feel conflicted anymore. Honestly, I've kind of made my mind up. Like it's. Yeah. I can't really support it. Maybe I'll talk to him and say when he's 16, he can practice and build up and maybe something like that. I can sit down and be like, you're old enough to judge this for yourself, but I'm not going to make that decision for you at 10 or 11.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an alternative. Like, so you can get kind of some base level understanding and muscle memory in playing football and some experience besides, I guess, defaulting to playing like flag football. If there's a middle ground where you're not going head to head or something like that, but you can still play and not look like an asshole with flags.
I think they have like actual where it's just like touch football, which I know, our delicate ear is like touch football. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's better than brain damage to children.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like, there was somebody talking recently about how the worst thing that they could do for people in the development of football was giving them those full plastic padded helmets. Like at least when they had the leather helmets,
they're battering rams.
Yeah, exactly. You you have no problem putting your head down and throwing it into somebody because you're like, well, it's not going to cut my head open. I'm not going meat to meat with any of that shit. It's going to slam your brain around 10 times as hard. Your brain will
slam into your skull.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
But yeah, so maybe rugby's the way to go. Maybe we need to adopt a rugby-esque type style of playing football.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I don't have anything against any of the sports. I have the problem with parents pushing their kids into a sport before their kid is able to sort of make up their own mind about what's good for them, like a full educated,
a violent sport like that. You know?
Like by the time you get into, you're at the age to go into MMA or boxing or whatever, like full contact, sort of, a general idea of the costs and benefits and what goes into it. You're not just, hey, it's my first year of MMA, and then you're just in there getting punched in the fucking face at 10 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, that's who at some point, once you are a fully functioning adult, who the fuck am I to tell you what you can and can't do? If you want to get your brains beaten in, that's fine. We let people put on goddamn squirrel suits and fly through mountain ranges and slam into the sides of bridges or some shit sometimes. Rest in peace, homie. But I mean, it has to be some sort of personal responsibility. But yeah, as a kid, like you're some parent being like, "Hey, come on, Johnny, you'll be all right." It's like, dude, no, you won't. Sorry, man.
And nothing against the parents that used to do that or even struggling with it now, but you gotta be willing to take in new information as it comes out. Because I used to be, just a handful of years ago, I was one of those parents like, yeah, my son's gonna play football, and it was sort of one of those foolish dad,
I don't know,
dreams or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck no. I'd rather my son be healthy and make his own decisions when he's old enough.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. The kids just bump their heads or hit their heads on something now. I'm like, oh my God. It's long-term damage no matter. I don't give a shit how you look at it. It might not be life-altering, but it's doing something in there.
Well,
and
there
then
goes Harvard.
Yeah, and then to put your kid into some situation where it's just going to happen incessantly over and over and over again. Like, oh, man. This is terrible.
Yeah, he's definitely joined the military.
Oh, God. Put your kids in jiu-jitsu, people. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can tear a ligament or get a little bone breakage. You recover from that shit just fine. Your head will not.
Yeah, that's true.
Put them in jiu-jitsu. Get them in wrestling. If I can even put them in like taekwondo or something like that, you do point stuff, and you don't even start doing that till you're older. Like, learn to throw a kick, man.
Yeah. You got to do like 5 years of like the horse stance.
Yep.
Like meditating.
Exactly. What are we doing today in practice? We're gonna stand in the little horse stance for an hour. Like, oh, goddamn! All right. Sounds good, man.
Yep.
Arms out by your sides. Yeah. Yep. That's good shit. So, anyway,
we talked about MMA for like most of the fucking hour.
Yeah, dude. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh. But probably only a few of you. It's good, man. It's exciting. I love this sport. It's funny because like I'll talk to people and they're like, what sports are you into? I'm like, oh, I'm casually into this. Like, I'll follow basketball a little bit. I almost barely follow baseball. I basically don't give a shit about football, but I'll watch it and I have nothing against it. They're like, what do you watch? I'm like, oh, MMA. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm balls in that shit. And they're like, wow, all right. You don't watch any real sports? I'm like, this is a real motherfucking sport, dude.
Dude, it's the realest sport. Like, it doesn't get any more real.
Yeah, exactly.
Every physical trait you have versus every physical trait this person has. Yeah.
What happens when your team loses?
Yeah. Usually you're bloodied and
for sure
are hating life when you lose.
Oh, your team lost the sports ball game? That sucks. What happened? They got to play again next week? Oh, okay. What happened? My dude needs 6 weeks to recover from whatever broken ailment. They need 6 months before they can fight again. Sorry, man. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, we did an hour. MMA talk.
All right, man.
All right, we did it. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the episode. It was a lot of fun, as always. A lot of UFC talk. We covered way more than I thought we were going to. That pretty much took the whole episode. I thought it was going to be a little portion, but some great fights on the card. UFC 227 was amazing. Some more good ones coming up. We'll be covering them as we kind of see fit. We have no model. We talk about what we want when the mood kind of strikes us, and that's what we do. So for everybody out there listening, if there's any feedback or something you want us to expand upon on any of the episodes or something you'd like us to talk about, feel free to drop a comment, let us know, and we'll do our best to cover those subjects. Always looking for some fun, new, exciting thing to discover, explore, and talk about. So that is it for today. Again, thank you for listening. We'll be back on Thursday, and be good to each other. Love you all.